Hello everyone and welcome to the SpiderMan for the PS4. I am Drunken Dan.
Hooray! Finally a good game.
Wait, but the last game was good. I was just bad at it.
Hooray! Finally a good game.
God damn it! I actually haven't done a bad game on my channel in a while, now that I think about it.
It was fine. He just didn't know how to play it.
It's true.
Yeah. No, sorry. I just got distracted because I went on YouTube to just make sure I wasn't going to miss anything while we were recording, and then I just got recommended across Android. So all of those memories are flooding back to me for some reason.
Oh no. So
Oh no.
So Train and I have talked a lot about SpiderMan, which is one of the reasons why why Train was actually suggested doing a Spider-Man game. I went with this one because, as you can even see from my save file, I haven't played. I got it specifically for this because I've been wanting to play it. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if I'll get a chance to. But don't be surprised if more SpiderMan games come. I'm going to be playing this a lot. I don't know if I'm going to do every bit of side content, but I'm probably going to do a number of side content. For the sake of recording, now on my own playthrough I have it on Amazing, but for the sake of recording I'm going to put it down to Friendly.
Fair. I mean, there are some side quests I would recommend not doing on stream, just because, not stream, on recording, just because a lot of them are like the backpacks, right? They'll be.
I just get them if they're nearby, but I don't be surprised. But I will say, guys, don't be surprised if I do get distracted for a second and grab a couple.
Some of the other ones are definitely worth doing because you get cool suits. Although you have the Game of the Year edition, so you just start. So
I have everything.
So yeah, when we get past a certain point, you'll just be able to dress up as Bombastic Bagman.
Yeah. Because I was looking at that because it has the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man costume. It has the Spider-Man costume I'll never wear. It has the Future Foundation and then the Bagman.
I mean, I like the Bombastic Bagman and Future Foundation suspiciously got added to the game just as Disney bought parts of Fox, i.e. Fantastic Four back.
Yeah.
And they were completely absent from the game, not even reference, which I thought a bit shitty because I love Bombastic Bagman. It's one of my quote unquote favorite suits, but
I will say too, one of the things right off the bat for me from what little I played is, man, it feels good to play a game or have a Spider-Man piece of media other than Spider-Verse where I'm like, wow, that's Peter Parker.
I was actually surprised at how
Hey, also, you see that fucking thing in the picture there? You see that picture a second ago? That man, that older man that suspiciously looks like Uncle Ben? Would that be so hard for MCU? Fuck off.
That's Uncle Ben. I mean, yeah, Uncle. You don't have to show the Uncle Ben story. We all know it, and Ben's referenced occasionally where you'll hang out with May, and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, Ben would be so proud of you."
Right. So
that's
yeah, that's perfect. Instead of just pretending like he doesn't exist and being like, no, we just didn't want to do it again. Fuck off. Except for you do it with Tony Stark. Fuck off. But I'll make fun.
Cast somebody.
I'll make fun of MCU later. So there was actually something I saw on Twitter that I thought was interesting, but I'm going to explain what my opinion on it is first, and then I'll let Train Man go off for 20 minutes.
Right.
So there was a thing where I don't know if they're doing it right now in the comics or if it was an older thing where they're giving MJ powers. I'm not sure if it was older or not because sometimes with some of the art it's hard to tell. But but the person asked how if you agree with that idea, and I'm gonna put my stance first, and then like I said, Train Man, you can go off because I'm just gonna let you go. I personally do not like the idea because I like the idea of especially superheroes having people in their lives, especially people who are close to them that are not superpowered. I don't feel like MJ as a character needs it. She's already a strong character. And I feel like in terms of for Peter himself, I feel like having somebody that close to him in his life who is a non-powered person keeps his whole grounded nature and keeps that whole duality of, managing his real life and his job and his superhero shit. And I feel like if you give MJ powers, it kind of takes away a bit from both, because it kind of says that MJ needs powers in order to be anything good, and it just takes away from Peter a bit. I feel too.
Is that your point then?
Yeah, that's my. I'm done now. You can go off on your way more detailed explanation than mine.
Well, they've done it a lot. Not even just with MJ. They've done it with Lois. They've done it with any sort of long-standing love interest who was a normal person, because the whole point was that they were there to facilitate the human drama for the person outside of the costume, because like you said, there is a very sort of grounding thing. Like everyone has relationship troubles, and it's that kind of thing of, if you do it right, then you do great, because Peter by his nature can't just sort of drop everything just for MJ, no matter how much he cares for her. And so you can build on frustrations for that if it's done well. I mean, if you do it poorly, you just do Arrow again.
Oh god.
Nobody wants that.
And Spider-Man also works really well as a, like, honestly, I like him better in stories where it's like, especially in the grand scheme of Marvel, where it's basically like him dealing with, like, street level crime. Like, right now we're going to Kingpin is a mob boss. He is big-ish time, but, like, in the grand scheme of Marvel, he's still just a crook.
Well, Kingpin doesn't, like, I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. Like, he's a big deal, but only in the greater context of just the sort of everyday happenings of crime in New York. Like, right. And like, he's not a Avengers level threat.
He's not like Doom or anything.
Where you need like a whole bunch of superheroes to team up, and because also like most of the time he's covered his tracks, so you're not ever gonna be able to pin him on stuff. You're just gonna throw down with one of his people he's hired this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big point even in this intro, where it's like they finally actually managed to pin everything on him, and now he's fucked.
Now Tons of Fun is going to jail. Sorry, Willie.
He'll be going to jail soon. I gotta beat him up first.
But like the MJ issue is, it does sort of detract from her character, because you're basically implying that the only way anyone in comic books can be relevant is if they're superpowered, which isn't true. But also, it's like, if you want to do a female superhero, why does it have to be MJ? Why can't you just make a new one? Like, I've had this argument with people about things before.
I mean, we have like we have a number of like spider ladies that you can just like pull one of them out.
I'd argue too many, but that's a personal issue.
Like and like Gwen, the excuse is you can say alternate reality, so that's its own fucking thing. That, and also Gwen hasn't been relevant in how long now? Like, somebody just shoot him! I mean, like, Gwen was barely a character when she was a character.
I put my complaints more down to the fact that I don't like, and this stems to all the other like Spider-Men who have cropped up over the years. It's I don't like it when you have too many people who have Spider-Man's power set, because what makes Spider-Man so unique is that he has the amazing sticker powers, and it kind of feels like, he is a really cool character, and at some point in recording for this like thing, this will take forever, I will like go into detail about why he's so great, or why he's such a great character. But it's like, when you have him and you've got Scarlet Spider, and then the second Scarlet Spider, and then Silk, and then Ghost Spider, and then Miles Morales. I don't know what his nickname is, if he has a nickname, or if he's part of M's like 616 now, or
I think he's part of 616, but I can't remember what his name is actually, his moniker.
Yeah. Like, Agent Venom specifically, which was much more like Spidey. Like,
the Ghost Spider, well, what happened with Gwen is she did get moved into the main continuity at some point too, I think. Because in her own continuity she was just called Spider-Woman. She was the only one with those powers in that continuity.
Yeah, then when she got to 616, Jessica Drew was like, "Bitch, I'll sue."
And then people were like, "Wait, who Jessica Drew again?"
She was that Skrull lady.
Wait, who?
The evil fascist who's not Captain Marvel. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh wait, no, I was right.
See, I was making fun of the fact that nobody fucking knows who Jessica Drew is. And honestly, my memory of her, like, I can see her in my head. Don't ask me any details.
But like, as I said, I just don't like the fact of how many Spider people there are at this point.
I can understand that. It's that thing of when you have a number of, like, characters with superpowers, you're gonna see a bunch more with them.
But it's like kind of Superman, right? When you have like too many Kryptonians running around, then he loses a lot of things, because hey, he's no longer the last son of Krypton. That should go to like all the 5 other Superboys and men. And
there are currently with his power set, and that are Kryptonian specifically. Because if we're gonna talk about just his power set, then we gotta get Shazam in here.
Yeah, we're gonna say Kryptonians at least.
So, with Kryptonians, you have Supergirl, Power Girl, Superboy, and Superman himself.
Multiple Superboys.
No, actually only one.
Is Prime still dead?
Prime's been dead. Prime is basically, yeah, pretty much. Though
I don't think he's ever coming back.
To be fair, Prime was also originally a thing for a different universe.
Yeah.
And then
Unless he shows up in the CW thing this year.
Of course he does.
Well,
he might. I don't know. He could. Who knows? We already have Smallville Superman and Brandon Routh Superman.
So you got Deadbeat Dad Superman and Angsty Teenage Superman. Well, I guess not Angsty Teenage anymore because he's like 30.
No, he's not teenage. Well, no, not teenage anymore. No, he's like 40.
Yeah. But anyway, like, yeah, like.
The thing is, honestly, like thinking about it, there aren't too many superheroes that have a unique power set that's like only theirs.
I accept that.
I think it's more of like SpiderMan somehow managed to keep being like the character with that ability set longer than other ones. Because it became more of a thing in the 80s where you started seeing more spider people popping up.
We also have to remember a lot of characters come from like that all got sort of integrated into each other. Like, you know, just the whole thing is Action Comics and Detective Comics weren't a shared thing. They were separate comics. So like you had a lot of characters just like they debuted in like various companies and whatever that eventually got merged into all of these like what basically qualifies as I guess like comic book conglomerates that made up DC.
Because for the audience, like Shazam was originally a I just realized there's no subtitles on in this game. Jesus Christ. I gotta turn them on. I forgot to do that. I don't know why they're not on by default. Most games have them on by default. You think I'd remember considering I set this up before and turned them on.
You'd think so.
It's probably in audio settings.
On.
There we go, on. Let's make sure. Yep, on. There we go.
But yeah, so like a lot of characters didn't start off like it wasn't just oh hey the Marvel comics are out now and here are all the characters that are going to be in Marvel and here this is DC and well DC specifically is made up of the most amount of like former comic book companies that had their like
DC was bought. So Marvel was basically people that broke away from DC. DC was mainly formed by a group that bought up the rights to a lot of characters. Like Shazam, at one point in time, was a competitor to a Superman.
So that was sort of the point.
And actually, at one point in time, just for the audience, Shazam was actually more popular than Superman for a period of time. He actually had the first superhero movie. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
But that's what I was driving at, is that a lot of these characters were made as direct competition to each other, because, fuck me, comic book companies have done this for years, where they just have, like, hey, you know that character from that popular comic book you like? Well, here is our version of it. Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Yeah, original Deadpool, you are right.
I mean, Deadpool was deliberately supposed to be a parody at first, except... You know.
Well, a Liefeldian parody, which basically says that I completely stole this design and this name, but I called it parody so that people wouldn't get pissy.
And then he actually became like this weird psychopathic.
Because other people got
breaking lunatic.
Yeah, because all these other people got their hold of him. And we're like, man, we can't keep this the way it is because this is just Deathstroke. Well, fuck it, we'll just make him funny. No one's gonna.
Yeah, actually, the guy who turned Deadpool into the way people know him was a comedian.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he I can see his face. That's the worst part. But yeah, it was a comedian got a hold of the character and he turned him into the Deadpool that we know today.
Well, it's like the Ghost Stories dub thing, where Marvel had this property that they knew they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do anything serious with because, Deadpool is Deathstroke. He even has the same fucking name.
Slade Wilson, Wade Wilson.
Yeah. So, like, you couldn't do anything with this character. So they thought, well, fuck it, just do whatever you want with him. and he did.
Yeah.
So, hey, Deadpool became more popular than Well, okay, maybe not more popular. No,
yeah,
more
he
popular.
did. He's definitely
He
more
is.
popular.
He's definitely more popular.
He's more popular to the point where people saw Deathstroke and were like, "Hey, why is DC copying Marvel?" I'm not kidding. I remember seeing posts like that, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. I remember as well.
I gotta take a phone call for a second, so
Yeah, sure.
I'm
We'll
gonna
keep
step
going.
away. All right.
But yeah, so there's like plenty of little characters who are like half-assed rip-offs of other like pre-established comic book characters. To be fair, actually, a lot of them are Marvel own thinking on it.
Yeah, the copy ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually realized that one day where we were going down the list of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Spider-Man is honestly probably one of their most unique characters. Didn't DC actually attempt at one point in time copying Spider-Man and failed?
Yes, I can't remember his name, but they definitely did. They definitely tried to shoot for that sort of more for the Spider-Man look or idea, but it just didn't work. I think they honestly, like, hilariously enough, their Jaime version of Blue Beetle is sort of more of a spiritual rip-off of Spider-Man.
He's like a hodgepodge of Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Well, I just mean in the sense that he is the same sort of like teenager who's been granted these powers and has to like learn to be responsible with them. And but anyway, yeah, Marvel has a lot more of the shall we just call them rip-off characters. DC, I mean,
DC was mostly yeah, they bought everybody. They bought their characters. Marvel copied the characters. Let's if we're gonna be honest and fair towards both companies and what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit Marvel had is that Marvel, from like the '60s, had Stan Lee, who did create a lot of their more unique characters.
Because they had Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Let's be fair.
Yeah, well, it's the combination of Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and Steve Ditko.
Yeah.
And then two of those guys got completely fucked over.
Yeah. Spoiler: not Stan Lee.
Yeah. He went on to have a really great career with Marvel. Let's say the other two. It's just a shame because Ditko's art style lends a lot to what makes classic Spider-Man work so well.
Yeah.
A friend of mine actually made an interesting point that.
Jack Kirby created Darkseid, who I've mentioned before is like one of my favorite villains in comic books.
Well, he did. New Gods was all him, but he had a lot of other things with DC as well, didn't he?
Yeah. I off the top of my head, my brain's kind of farting, but like Darkseid is just like my favorite of his.
Yeah.
For DC specifically. I'd have to go down the list to kind of get everybody out, but I just remember Darkseid and the New Gods off the top of my head. Because I know Barda was based off of his wife.
Yeah. But a friend of mine made an interesting point about Spider-Man specifically, which was that like the first sort of issues of Spider-Man. Was,
by the way, I just real quick to interrupt for just a second. I'm on the part where Spider-Man saving the civilians is one thing I just really like about this game, and I know people fucking do the review thing all the time with it, but it does honestly feel like Spider-Man, especially when you're doing shit like this, and even the sciencey stuff that's gonna come up a little bit later. It just feels right.
I think the less cliche way I've ever found to describe it is that when you play this game well, it looks like you're not even playing it.
Yeah.
Because if you do it perfect, if you get combat down, if you get web swinging down and movement down, it just looks like a CG movie like Spider-Verse.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
you can go with your point now. Sorry, I was.
What was my point?
Want to talk about that because we were talking about the characters getting bought and all that stuff.
Right. My friend made an interesting point that the first issues of sort of the early days of the Amazing Spider-Man, Lee Ditko era, is actually when you each issue is sort of like manga is today. Because it's almost a running storyline.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I realized from the older books was that a lot like early Spider-Man it was very much like a running story, rather than feeling like a serial, like how comics are, well, more so even then and now today, definitely.
Well, because I remember reading it alongside like Iron Man. It's like once you get past the first issue that establishes like Tony Stark getting, once you get past the like first issue that establishes, you know, Tony Stark getting in the accident, getting the chest plate and the suit, and building the suit, then the rest of it just sort of runs like a TV show or a comic book, and then it's like each week, or maybe you'll get like a 2-week storyline is Iron Man has to fight against this brand new threat, which is fine. But Spider-Man was probably one of the primary ones I can think of.
It was more like a serial drama. Well,
and
not a serial, but you know what I mean.
And I mentioned this as one of the more interesting aspects I find about Spider-Man as a character, and I mentioned this to you in text, is that unlike a lot of heroes who have a dichotomy, he has a trichotomy.
Oh yeah, especially more so in early days. You don't really, and also in the '90s cartoon, not so much in most Spider-Man media.
Not modern, not stuff.
Not even. I would say not even really in this, because I haven't seen that part yet. I've seen him.
A little.
Not really the cynicism. You get this. You do see his where he talks, and you see a bit of his like lack of confidence here and there.
Well, there's still like 3 distinct personalities that run through him, because you have like Peter Parker when he's talking to someone who doesn't know he's Spider-Man, so he's a lot sort of more chipper, and he's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, you're right. Okay, I understand.
So when he's Peter Parker, he's more chipper. He's more. I don't want to say upbeat, but he's more relaxed. Or he doesn't tend to like be confrontational. He tends to just sort of let things happen. Spider-Man, and as I said, this is the interesting thing. So with Batman and Bruce Wayne, it's easy to say, hey, Bruce Wayne's the mask and Batman is the real person.
Or even with Superman, the reverse, where Clark is the person and Superman's the persona.
But like those are two personalities, because you have them when they are the civilian and then when they're the hero. Spider-Man's one of the ones who has 3. Because you have him as Peter Parker, where he is this sort of quiet, shy nerd who doesn't really want to be confrontational and just tries to help people and get along. And then you have like Spider-Man, who's a jovial, jokey superhero who's throwing quips left, right, and center, and just kind of comes off as a bit of an asshole, but like a likable one. And then sort of the weird third personality, which is like Peter Parker's actual thoughts, where he's like. Sometimes he's played off as cynical and a bit depressed, and other times it's more like sort of the halfway point between Peter Parker and Spider-Man's personalities. But I do find it interesting that he has these like 3 distinct elements to him. He saw it a lot in the '90s cartoon where he basically like these are the 2 personas that he wears from the day to day, and then his inner monologue is like his true personality. The true Peter Parker, which, as I said, I find incredibly interesting, because not many other heroes I can think of directly
you get the one that's the true and the one that's the identity, the false identity, and that's about it. Yeah, that is true. With Spider-Man, you pretty much they're both a part of his true personality.
And I think a lot of that is why Spider-Man sort of became the smash hit that he was in a test of time, because in those 3 distinct different ways that Peter Parker and Spider-Man interact with people, it's so easy for someone to at least see something of themselves. Because like we've all been that sort of teenager who goes through some shit. Maybe probably not as bad as Peter does, but so we can all relate to at least one aspect of Spider-Man, which being relatable hero was like what made Marvel or being able to make these relatable heroes. So it's
what put them on the map. I will say probably Spider-Man was definitely their breakout, because he was just so different from everything else that was around. Not to say the other ones weren't popular, but I feel like Spider-Man was probably the one that made Marvel a name.
Well, he's also the first sort of major teenage hero who is a teenager.
Because you had teenage heroes, but they were sidekicks.
Yeah, so you're instantly putting him in a very different position from everyone else, because hey, he's got like twice as many responsibilities. Because yeah, Clark has the whole thing of being a busy adult who has a job, but well, his job ties into being a superhero.
Yeah, his job is specifically tied in to also make it easier for him to be a superhero.
Whereas I fucking love there's like in Dr. Octopus's I wonder why I'm referencing Doc Ock. In like his
don't worry about it, probably no reason.
in his debut storyline, Doc Ock goes on this rampage across like America, like crime spree. And everyone wonders like, why hasn't Spider-Man gone to fight him? And it's because Pete's like literally can't afford to, it's like got like exams coming up, so he can't afford to just go and leave New York to go and fight Octopus. And it's like, it's things like that. Like it definitely grounds the character in. I don't want to say reality because
like
at the end of the day,
he's not like Batman, where Batman's like, oh, it doesn't matter because I have billions of dollars and you just fuck off for like a month and no one cares.
Yeah, he has far different kinds of issues that surround his personal life and his superhero career. And as I said, I think that is probably the single thing that made him like so compelling for people to read about, especially in the '60s.
It was very different.
You have to think in like the '60s, like back in the '60s, kids weren't well, because this is like with teenagers like starting to get into more rebellious ages now. You know, you're sort of growing up in a post-war world where the times they are changing.
Yeah. Man, this fight is so much easier than the first time I played this because I know how to fucking play the game now.
Oh yeah.
I had so much more trouble because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing against Kingpin the first time.
I did too, and that's one of the benefits of this game, even though it has a relatively simple combat system, is that knowing getting to the sort of ins and outs and the depths to it. Like, I always remember Spider-Man 2, Bruce Campbell chastised people complaining there was only one attack button in that game. And he points out not necessarily the amount of attack buttons you have, but the way in which you chain attacks. And I will say, one thing I think this game does better than Arkham, because those parallels are going to be fucking drawn a lot.
I mean, yeah, because it's got the spider sense mechanic to dodge shit.
But like one of the benefits that this game has over Arkham is I think it's a lot easier to use gadgets, add extra abilities and equipment.
Oh yeah, the combat is a lot smoother in this game than Arkham ever was.
Well, it's like, so Arkham tries to reward you for using combat. It's like it was never intuitive in a way to use, and they all were a bit clunky because each gadget was more or less meant to be used for puzzle solving, right?
Yeah,
so
I sometimes would use them for other things, but that was just more for fun.
I used the grappling hook maybe to try and pull people in, but it was just, as I said, it never was an intuitive way to do it, and it just always sort of... It had like more downsides because could make it, because if you screwed up, it just made you combo. But kind of was the whole reason you were going to use gadgets in the first place, was to build that combo meter for arbitrary reasons like trophy hunting or whatever. And then this game, I feel, was a lot better about it. Just because the combat itself flows. It's not
the combat is so much better in this game. I mean, I'll be fair, Spider-Man is a quicker character, but like there are definitely parts that just don't feel as good in that game. I will say probably of the Arkham games. Now don't get us wrong. I think Arkham Asylum more so than City. To say he's still good. I think Asylum is the best one of them.
I prefer City, but that's personal preference more than anything. They're both.
I think it's because I really like the more tight narrative of Asylum.
Yeah.
City's good, but I just prefer the tighter narrative of Asylum. And the way that City is like written, it feels like it would benefit better from a tighter narrative than an open world.
Yeah.
Where like where like, you know, like a lot of Spider-Man games, they work both ways just because the way they're set up.
Both Arkham games, or even Arkham Origins, substantially better than whatever we've got.
You're cutting out a bit.
I just said that it doesn't matter about which is better between Asylum and City, because both of them and even Origins are better than what we got in Night. And I make that sound as if Origins is a bad game. It's not. It's just an unnecessary one.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I feel like it comes down. So Origins was a different team, but it was still good. With Knight, you can tell that with Paul Dini not being brought back, they didn't know what to fucking do.
End of an era.
Night, you can definitely the smell.
You know what? Let's try changing the server because you're cutting out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try.
Is that better?
We'll find out. Hello. Okay. We'll find out as time goes on.
But yeah, Arkham Knight just there's so many other things about.
We've made fun of that game so much. Oh, do I want to take the web? The web
doesn't stop. It doesn't stop it being disappointing though.
Oh no, I agree. I kind of, I won't lie, I had a bad feeling about the game pretty early on. I can't remember exactly when, but pretty early on I just started getting that feeling of this is not going to be a very good game. I don't remember where, but I remember shit leading up to it where, like, there was like, oh, well, everyone figured out that it was going to be fucking Jason Todd. That was going to be the night, and then we've made fun of it many times where they're like, oh, no, it's not, and then lo and behold it was, and they're like, haha, you didn't see that coming? But
I'm in the awkward position now where there's things I want to talk about with this game, but I don't want to because they will spoil it for you.
No, I get that. Yeah, no, I understand.
I have to be very
appreciate
careful about things that I will be saying, and I guess I'll be waiting a bit later on that. But, yeah.
By the way, this game definitely, because I played a little bit today on my personal one, to kind of get myself warmed up to, it feels so fucking good to move around the city. I mean, it's a Spider-Man game, so it should, but it just feels good.
I mean, also, I'll give a bit of insight into the recording process, but while you play, like, for virtually almost all of our recordings, I have been, like, I was playing Spider-Man for, like, basically from it coming out and I started recording to, like, more or less now where I'm at the moment as, like, background noise. Well, not noise, but, like, something to do in the background because, like, moving around New York is such an intuitive and easy process.
Yeah, like, it took me a second when I first popped this game in to get used to it, but, like, once you get the flow, it feels just right.
Yeah.
But
well, it's all about, like, locomotion. It's all about sort of locomotion, right? How fun it feels to get from point A to point B. And
I was getting distracted. I didn't get that far because I got distracted just kind of moving around, fighting a crime when it come up, being like, "Ooh, there's a backpack there," and shit like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and remind myself to not get too distracted on shit like that because this isn't gonna be my personal playthrough file. I gotta try and keep myself getting distracted because it's just fun to play. But honestly, considering these are kind of podcasty and we talk about the cutscenes and everything, fuck it. So I care a little bit, but not too much.
I have often thought about what about doing a sort of podcast / interview format where it's called like shooting, where it's, instead of it's like shooting the breeze, but you have parentheses web shooting the breeze. And it's just like every episode is like talking with someone playing a different Spider-Man game.
That honestly, I'd be up for that. That's actually kind of cool.
I've had that sort of idea in my head.
Dude, do you mind if I just steal that as the title of the video? Because I'm gonna probably do that.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Is anyone hurt? No.
I hate copyrighting it, but yeah, that has been sort of my thing. Of if I did do something, it might be that or train reviews.
Just reviewing various trains in fiction in real life.
No. Have I not explained the train reviews thing?
No.
Where it's like a review show, but the intro and outro are longer than the actual review itself. So that upbeat jingle, do, it's train reviews. And then it just cuts to me going, it sucks.
I think I remember this now. But while we're kind of on the subject with like comic characters and shit, so I've kind of, as time has gone on, I just realized overall, even like looking back on a lot of the older stuff from it, I don't really like the MCU anymore. Like even looking back on a lot of older stuff, like a lot of because like I've thought about more like I don't really care for the antagonists, the hero arcs are just bad in a lot of them.
I think
there are movies I still like in them, but overall I just found that they're not that great in my opinion.
I think the problem comes in as sort of it's like the whole concept of like once you know where everything's building up to and where it's going, a lot of it loses the spectacle because suddenly all the things where it's like, oh, what does this mean? Well, you know what it means, and you know where a lot of the characters end up now, and their
I mean,
result.
even like other stuff like that, like I'll still like it, but overall, I just really don't like the MCU. And like it just feels very watered down versions of a lot of the shit that I like.
Oh god,
and it really came actually because you're gonna bring it up, and I know it because that's actually where the thought what funny enough inspired the thought is I saw the fucking Taskmaster.
Yeah, and it's just the motorcycle helmet with a skull design.
It's just it looks like a fucking like a rejected skin from Modern Warfare.
The problem is, a friend of mine made a point, and I can't unsee it, and he made the point that it's quite clearly actually a woman Taskmaster as well, which I'm not opposed to. What I am opposed to is
why not just make it finesse?
Yeah,
we already have her. Just make it finesse.
Yeah. What I am opposed to is I'm opposed to wasting Taskmaster, who's such a cool villain.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too.
No, but here's the big issue. Right?
Black Widow is lame.
But so here's the issue, right? Taskmaster's whole shtick is that he copies people's moves because he's got an eidetic memory. So he'll copy like their body language, the fighting styles, and specifically. And that's interesting. But the problem is Black Widow herself doesn't have a fighting style. So like mimicking
her style is just I learned a number of styles. Like I have a generic number of styles under my belt, and that's it.
Like it's not like fighting Captain America where it's like, oh hey, you've adapted his like super soldier like moves alongside his shield powers, or fighting SpiderMan and adapting his spider moves without the spider powers,
or like even like Wolverine. It's not even like she has like a unique style mixed with her gunplay or like her weapon play. It's just I have X amount of martial arts styles, which means the creators can say use whatever martial arts move they feel like doing today that they like, and putting it in there, and then just occasionally having her shoot a gun or hit somebody with a bladed weapon.
Unfortunately, taking a character with a really cool sort of concept for specifically fight choreography and watering them down because it's going against someone who just doesn't really have the moves or the moveset or the abilities to complement that. Essentially,
yeah,
and plus also it's just a really bad design on Taskmaster.
The thing is, honestly, I don't even know what villain you could throw at Black Widow and make it interesting because Black Widow is so devoid of being interesting.
I mean, you won't get a villain who will make her interesting, but you would at least get someone who's not like, who it doesn't feel like incredibly mismatched in terms of just. Like,
right. I get that, but I'm just like honestly, I feel like it is a waste of Taskmaster. But what I'm trying to get at is, I don't care who you threw at her, it's gonna be a waste for them.
It's like sending MODOK against. It's like sending MODOK against Hawkeye. It's like, yeah, you can do it, but it's like you're not getting any of the fun out of MODOK with doing it.
It was kind of like, I remember, was it DC's official Twitter put this up, and I really like what Gail Simone did because it made me laugh. So they put up a thing. It's like, which one of these heroes would you call to help you if you were in danger by by Black Adam? And it was like Batgirl. I think it was Arrow. It was like all those level heroes, and was it Gail Simone just like they'd all fucking basically she said something along the lines of they'd all fucking die.
It would be like it'd be what like almost exactly the plot of one of my favorite Justice League episodes. We're ready. Which is when all the no power superheroes go up against the not Hulk.
Oh yeah.
I guess actually just call him not Red Hulk because he is literally an old general guy who fucking hates superheroes so much that he gave himself superpowers through radiation in order to kill them all.
Yeah.
I think he actually was before Red Hulk.
Yeah, he was before Red Hulk, but his design is literally Purple Hulk, which I wouldn't even mention except for the fact that Dexter's Laboratory did that exact same color scheme.
Yeah, with Krunk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were all three of them were a parody. Well, let's see here. It was Major Glory was a parody of both Captain America and Superman, and then the other two were just Marvel parodies.
Was it? I was gonna say, was it Van Halen was the other one?
Yeah, Von Hollen, who is just Thor, but Guitar Man.
Thor,
and talks like an '80s surfer dude.
Yeah.
Or if he was a rock star in the '80s.
And not fat and depressed.
I'm just saying, Krunk is the best Hulk. Just saying, he's the best Hulk.
But anyway,
Remember the episode that was literally just about Krunk having a toothache?
Yes. But this all stems to me just saying that episode is basically my favorite, or it's like a toss-up for Justice League episodes because it's either that or it's the greatest story never told.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that before, but yeah, that
Yeah.
one's one of my absolute favorites.
That's solid. Yeah, that one, just because I really like the fact that at the end, like fucking Shining Knight is like the most badass guy in that. It's just this. His gimmick is he's just a knight, and he has a flying horse. That's really just it, and he's still like trying to fight, and then everyone else is like, yeah, you're the only one here with superpowers. You know, you're not protecting us from people with superpowers. And General Guy's like, touche, you win this round, and then he goes off and is never seen again.
There were a number of characters in Justice League Unlimited that were like you saw them for like an episode and then you never saw them again, or maybe you saw them in the background.
Well, he was a recurring character, but he was part of Cadmus, and well, this was sort of in the post Lex Luthor. This was like,
oh yeah, you're right. It's been a while since I watched it, but you're right.
But he was like a recurring character in the Cadmus storyline, but well, the Cadmus had wrapped up, and Waller was like, "Yeah, we don't hate superheroes anymore, so you're fired." And the general was like, "You can't fire me. I built this company."
And then they fired
Do you know
him.
how much I sacrificed? I was doing the SpiderMan bit.
I know. Oh yeah, here we go. The first J. Joe Jameson episode.
Fun fact: JJ shares a voice act with Reinhardt.
Yeah. But I love though. I've only heard like 2 of these, and I love them. They're fucking great.
He weirdly sounds like Bryan Cranston to me in this.
He does.
It's kind of eerie because he'll like.
I legit before if I didn't go into this knowing it was Reinhardt's voice actor, I would have thought it was him.
Yeah, it's odd.
It's a really good impression because that's what he's probably trying to do is impersonate the actor.
Well, I don't think Bryan Cranston's JJ would be interesting. He could probably do it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he'd actually be in something good instead of MCU. Ho ho!
Bryan Cranston's not in MCU. You're thinking of J.K. Simmons.
Oh, you're right.
Bryan Cranston is the Malcolm in the Middle guy.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh fuck, I accidentally ended the episode by
you can-
hitting
But you know what he started as?
I've already listened to them before, but you know, it just sucks for the recording. By the way, I love the banter here on the rooftop between Yuri and Peter. It's really good.
Long before Bryan Cranston was in
Oh
anything
yeah,
he was famous for, he did voices on Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fun fact. Yuri's voice actress in Yuri Lowenthal. I like that I get to do that. Are married. Also, fun fact. Yuri Watanabe's voice actress also did Edelgard and Mitsuru from Persona 3.
Yep. She's popular. She's a big name VA now.
Yeah.
I just find it interesting that. Well, I really like Yuri Lowenthal on this. When he was first cast, I was highly dubious.
Yeah.
because-
No. There's actually. I'm pretty sure there's a recording of me bitching about it.
Yeah, and then it's like you hear him, and it's like, oh, okay, you actually tried today, Yuri. It's a fucking tragedy you didn't get an award for this performance, honestly.
But we gotta give everything the Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. As I said, it's a goddamn.
Red Dead's not a good game. Fuck everybody. I'm just gonna fucking say it. Red Dead is not a fucking good game. It is not. It never was a good game. It's terrible, and everyone can go suck my dick.
But anyway, I didn't. I mean, I played both. I liked 1, but I have issues with 2 that I think massively.
My favorite part about 1 is controlling the horse.
Any chance you could do it to the other towers?
Sure.
Just walk. It's fine.
I had to sync up with the tower to fix
Just
Yeah,
take
but they want me to ride the horse.
Just take the gloriously superior train.
happening near me.
Great. I've got
I just like that they're like, let's make horse controls, but make them terrible. And then over time, Rockstar's like, we want to make these more like a movie, so let's just make everything take like 4 years to do anything.
I mean,
This isn't that fun.
They've been they've been trying to make
Red Dead 2's like little fucking shit like that is the equivalent of those fucking those fucking Peter Griffin bits where he's like trying to put something in a cup or something for like 20 minutes. You know the exact ones I'm talking about.
I mean, I don't, but like I'm thinking about it, and I'm like,
basically,
yeah.
it's the equivalent of like you've seen those. You've seen like the thing with him in the fucking knee. It's like that, but he's trying to put something in a box or something.
Where it's like the whole point of the quote unquote joke is that the joke goes on too long, so it's not funny. So it, in theory, should circle around and be funny again because it's so unfunny. Is the idea, I think.
Oh, it's Spider Cop.
That is the other tragedy. There's no Spider Cop skin. I know I saw plenty of photoshops of Spider-Man with just a cop hat.
I've seen that Photoshop, and I saw it with where they added a little mustache to it.
Yeah. They should have also changed the spider to the spider on his back to a donut.
I really hope that when they make the sequel, that they fucking do that.
I mean,
they have a Spider Cop skin.
And I'm not going to spoil what happens in the ending, but one of the sort of post-credit scenes is basically the come back for Spider-Man 2.
Yep, she's the one.
Like as in your face about it as you can get with what it teases.
I mean,
I'm not gonna say.
I mean, aside from being a good Spider-Man game, it is a Spider-Man game, so of course it's gonna get a sequel. But then again, Ultimate Spider-Man didn't get a sequel, which I'm still surprised about.
Well, it sort of did, and it didn't.
But this Nick Fury show up and be like, "There's gonna be a sequel." I don't think so.
He doesn't show up in Ultimate Spider-Man, but remember, Ultimate Spider-Man was meant to literally take place in between like issues of the comic book. So in essence, it did get a sequel, but it sort of didn't because then the comic book did the Ultimate Spider-Man storyline, but shitty, like most of the Ultimate Universe after a certain point.
Yeah.
I think I've said.
Oh, by the way,
before,
actually, we made a mistake last time because Bendis did not write Ultimatum.
He didn't. Fair enough.
Yeah, because I made a joke about that on Twitter and I was corrected, and I looked it up. And...
My bad.
Good old Bendis.
I mean, he did he did all those other horrible things, though.
It's true.
Not just the women, but the children too. He slaughtered them like animals.
It's okay. It's okay because he's on Superman. It's fine.
I apologize, Bendis. You didn't ruin Ultimate. You didn't do Ultimatum. But I don't apologize for anything else I've said. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've said far worse about far nicer people than Bendis on these recordings.
You know, it's true. It's okay because these are not for children. So fuck shit.
Yeah. We did it.
There we go. We did it.
It's not child friendly. If you're a child listening to this, well, you shouldn't. But I'm not your dad, I hope. So I'm not going to stop you.
She doesn't care.
Well. So, hey.
Well, you see, grizzled Spider Cop has seen too many children watching child unsafe videos on YouTube. That's why I became a member of COPA.
You see, this is just their excuse to get everyone like under their control or kicked off.
Yeah, essentially.
But we'll see. Like I said to Train one time. Remember when all the internet reviewers were upset that SOPA was going to ruin them, and then it didn't.
Oh yeah. Well,
but
honestly,
everyone got bored of them anyway.
I mean, you have to be a colossal.
Oh, God. I love this part when he's just narrating to himself and she just chimes in. Are you narrating to yourself? She never understood Spider Cop.
The one thing how it should have ended gave us that like.
Oh yeah! Stop narrating.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that one yet. I'm gonna guess that he does it again at some point.
No, it's the how it should have ended.
That's from one of the very first how it should have ended was Spider-Man like, and then like he's doing his and then the little girl's like, "Are you narrating?" And he's like, "No." And he does it again, and she's like, "Stop narrating!" And then like that got into it was even in Web of Shadows, like at the end, if you get the good ending, and then Mary Jane is like, "Are you narrating to yourself?" When he was like, "No."
Oh.
Well, it's because like part of that whole thing of Spider-Man having essentially like 3 personalities. The real Peter is often the one that's like forever narrating because he's got his whole internal monologue thing. So like. And because that's like one of the things that does get translated a lot into various Spider-Man media, him like taking all these sort of long narrations and like asides to himself. So yeah, people just call him out on it now.
Well, they have him do it out loud sometimes as a gag. Well, this is him just gagging around, or he's just doing it because he knows Yuri's on the other line. He just thinks it's funny.
She'll never understand Spider Cop. But yeah, Spider Cop should have been a skin. Not gonna lie. I would have taken it over some of the fucking spider armors we get in this game.
Honestly, they're probably going to
Still there? Got a robbery.
like have that as a skin in the sequel, like because it's
Oh,
such a
that should
joke and a meme. They're gonna do it because the Spider Cop bit, what I've seen is great. Half spider, all cop.
I mean, there's one too that they definitely should have had in, but they didn't. For
Are you talking about
reasons.
the symbiote one?
Yeah, no black suit.
Well, yeah, they're gonna be doing it.
No, I
Like,
get it, but like, man,
by the way, I also get them not wanting to pull the trigger on it on the first game. I get that.
I also wouldn't be surprised if Marvel sort of that Venom movie coming any yet. So
Don't
No.
don't fuck with it.
don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare! So, and in fact, there is like one very slight reference to Eddie Brock in that you can find in one of the backpack rewards. You can find the card given to Peter by all the people at the Bugle when he left, and inside one of the messages is signed by Eddie Brock.
Ah.
That is basically the extent of Brock's like referencing this.
I don't know why, but it's so fun just to web grab things and throw them at people. It's just so stupid. I
Yeah.
love it.
Wait, it's even more fun when you grab their missiles and throw them back up.
Oh, I don't have that ability yet.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that.
Isn't it where like the physics make sure that like you can't ever kill anyone?
Yes. So if
Like
this
if
is-
if you throw somebody, he'll.
You can throw the
whip
grenades
parachute.
back, and it'll just like stun them basically.
so the implication is that all the grenades and missiles and stuff he throws, he's actually webbed up, so they don't detonate.
I'll drink tonight, Yuri.
So they're just being hit by the physical object. And if you throw people off buildings, then you'll see then if you manage to like look down and follow them, you'll see that they then get like webbed to the building because like Spider-Man's put like a little trigger on them after throwing them off. So they
That's
went.
really cool.
So they went Arkham problem of
Or
people that
Oh.
Batman does just flat out kill,
by breaking their fucking heads in.
or throwing them off buildings because you can do that.
People taking
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, if you throw a Batman off, he'll grapple them too automatically. So he
Yeah.
won't.
I need for suit repair.
He won't kill anyone by throwing them, and I'm pretty sure all the
Maybe with
people
that-
he somehow breaks all the bones in their faces somehow still survive.
I'm more impressed how people survive in Arkham Knight when he's got his fucking bat tank firing fucking.
Or he's putting their head in a tire.
How did it go with the committee?
But
I'm so sorry
yeah,
I screwed
so
things
like
up.
in this game, yeah.
You know, to be
every-
fair, I'm gonna say that came from the era where we had like fucking where we had the fucking Nolan Batman, and Batman was just fucking killing people, but everyone was okay with it.
He only does it. Well, he only kills people in the first one. It's kind of like Arrow. It's only in the first season where he's just sort of slaughtering people left, right, and center. And then someone's like, it's not very heroic of you, Oliver, to just kill people. And he's like, I never thought of it that way. Thank you for telling me this. I'm going to change my ways.
And then you get to like Zack Snyder, who's like, deal with it. They killed people, and I still like that one post that was like actual or Spider-Man eats people, like Zack Snyder Spider-Man eats people or something like that.
There's a one of JJ's Just the Facts does actually talk about that.
About him eating people.
Yeah. Well, because there's a thing relating to pigeons, and he's like, so you've heard of the bird hunting spider, right? It's a spider that hunts birds. So what happens if you have a man-sized spider?
Oh, I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's
So
a-
probably, yeah, I told you this when it happens. There's a lot.
Or like I'll be
Dark
playing
Knight
this game.
Returns,
So
Batman kill anybody?
I don't think so.
you'll probably get like a random message from me, like being like, "I've seen it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a kidnapping." I'm
He's
gonna
also
respond
going to
that.
be in Crisis, and he's going to be played by Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because DKR Batman's meant to be like a burly old man, and Kevin Conroy is an old man, but he's not burly.
Burly, he's thin. but you know.
Well, yeah, it's quite wiry.
I mean, they were just trying to get every like actor that like they could that was
Yeah,
willing to do it.
Yeah, they're
They
just
were,
like, fuck.
like they have Burt Ward in there as like a really old Robin.
I mean,
Like
I
they
mean-
wanted to get Linda Carter as Wonder Woman, but I think someone said no.
I think at this point, like, they've realized Batwoman is like the next level of trash. Like, holy fuck! I've not been watching the show. I've been watching other people watch the show, and I just feel like dead inside.
It's not very. Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh, it's not even not very good. It's literally awful. It's like cancer in physical form.
It's as bad as Arrow season 4.
Yes, it's worse.
Wow.
Jesus. Fucking. So they have Tommy Elliott, right? You know Tommy Elliott, our old pal Hush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like his whole shtick in the show is that he paid the Riddler to tell him who Batman was, because you know obviously the Riddler's smart enough to figure that out. Oh, one of the times he's not. But anyway, so he pays the Riddler to find out who Batman is because he really wants to kill Bruce Wayne because you know Thomas Wayne had the audacity to save his mother and father from dying. The evil cunt that he was.
I know. How fucking dare he?
Fucking-
You know what you get when you go with the when you cross society with the guy you saved the parents of? You get what you fucking deserve.
So like, so Elliot's plan is because in this world, like Batman's been gone for like years, so his plan is to hold people to ransom with exploding elevators in his own personal building to convince Batman to come and find him, so he can kill Batman. And it's like, wow, I even like Hush, but I feel bad for the people who do like Hush, where instead of like Hush, you've just got a rich and the show points out a misogynistic rich white guy. Because it's not enough that he's a white guy, he's a rich white guy, he's also a misogynist.
Well, you gotta have both, otherwise.
It's that kind of show. So yeah, it's pretty awful.
Don't get me wrong. I what was it? So like in D&D, one of the one of the players gave me like a thing for their characters like family members since it takes place in a city. So if they were like locals, I asked for like the stuff like that so I could use that for like character shit for them. So one of the things I'm going to have to roleplay at a certain point is actually a misogynist because in their thing they said that their brother is a misogynistic asshole basically.
Do you want me to give you some tips?
Yeah.
Okay. I just meant as in like if you need any help on hating women, just give me a message. I can help you. In fact, you want to just quote me word for word? I'll think of something to say. But anyway, like it's just that level of like not trust to figure things out and having to like just demonize people, specifically white men, for like because you want to push like your political agenda. And there's also stupid things like the whole backstory is that Kate Kane is a lesbian and she and her lesbian lover were in the army, and then the army found out that she was a lesbian and they kicked her out. And it's like, yeah, but wasn't Don't Ask, Don't Tell repealed like 10 years before this is set?
Yeah.
It was. No, I checked. It was.
Okay. So I have like political agendas do pop up in writing in general.
No,
because like you can tell like honestly if you look at enough of like my stuff you can see where certain things I lean on just based on what certain characters are. But like so basically the way he gave me this character that so his character's family is all fucked up other than like the youngest sister.
Yeah.
Like I think it was basically like he sees them where like if he sees a woman they're his, it doesn't matter if they're in a relationship or not. So I'm gonna have to roleplay that out, which is not gonna be fun, but hey, I'll do it.
Hey, you should watch Pro Jared in order to like research for the role. Or I saw a video from his that was like semi-recent, like post like all the controversy pop up in a recommended video. I was like, I don't know if I should like admire the level of tenacity of the internet, man. But
The audacity of this bitch.
yeah. So Most other people would have the common decency to like at least.
I get that. If I was his dumbass, I wouldn't be online again ever.
It's like you just ask him. But anyway, I didn't click on it because I've never watched a video of his and I never will.
That's entirely fair.
I mean, yeah, it's like when you're like basically when you're trying so hard that you're warping reality and like all of these things that are very easy to fact check and understand in order to push your point. That's sort of where you fail where you're failing in just pure writing. It's like as a sort of not that relevant but sort of relevant example, BBC did a War of the Worlds mini-series semi-recently or this month, right? And I really like War of the Worlds. It's one of my like favorite sort of books / musicals.
Right.
And like, there's a really annoying part in the BBC series where like a character in like fits of desperation goes, "Don't we deserve this?" As in we, as in like the British, because there's a set during like early empires thing, and even
Early what? Sorry, you're cutting out again.
the early 1900s, so the British Empire is still a thing.
All right.
And he's like, says, "Hey, isn't this just like what we do as the British Empire?" And it's like, oh, it's almost like that's sort of one of the things you can derive from the book. But it's like you don't trust the audience to draw that parallel without, you know.
That's the thing that I've noticed more and more lately is things just thinking like so much lower of the audience where they'll do shit like that.
Or there's a character who just makes these long-winded speeches about the glorious like sort of nature of the Anglo-Saxon race and the British and how powerful the British Empire is. There is that kind of speech that's only said by a character, so the audience can go, "Ooh, well, you're like," literally says, "There's no force on this earth that can match us." Like in the set, so it's just there for the sake of everyone going, "Oh, but we know what's coming next because we've heard the story before because it's fucking War of the Worlds." It's like it's not a surprise. But anyway,
Right.
if you want to get into War of the Worlds, don't watch anything but either the 50s movie or listen to the musical, because the musical's great.
I didn't even know there was a musical.
No, yeah, it was made in the 70s. It's actually really, really good.
Huh.
I highly recommend it.
We'll sit with that for
I'll have to remember that. Now I'm interested.
And it actually had a remake in like the early 2000s with Liam Neeson doing the voice of the narrator.
Okay, so in a minute I'm gonna go to Frisk's office to repair the suit, and then we'll
Yeah,
end the episode.
yeah. To
Oh,
get
right.
the white spider suit, which was
Yeah, I was opening up a couple of the towers because
yeah, it's
you know,
just-
so I have more
that-
map.
That's something to do. Yeah, it's the old
it's
Assassin's
also-
Creed thing.
Yeah, and it also helps open up the map and tells me where shit is, so I can traverse better. Where the hell is this fucking thing? Because there's a backpack right here, and I'm having trouble seeing it.
It feels
Yeah, fuck this backpack. I'm just gonna.
it feels weird to sort of say this, but like one of my complaints with like the BBC thing and with a lot of War of the World stuff is it adds character in the human drama that feels incredibly irrelevant, because the whole like original story, the narrator's never named, and his like goal is very loose. It's just get home or find girlfriend in the midst of all this chaos, because the whole point is he's not an important character himself. Like he is a camera to see all of these other characters.
I found the pizza delivery hat.
You found it.
Good.
If you can find the Pizza Joy, if you can find like the actual pizza place in this, you can actually hear the Pizza Time theme playing.
Do 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 do.
Yep.
All right, all right. I'll stop. What were you saying a second ago before I fucking
I was
jumped
just
with that?
saying that
Oh, say what was that? Oh, the save was back.
I was just saying
Yeah,
is that
I just realized that wasn't connected for like 5
Oh.
minutes.
Oh God!
I was like,
No wonder you weren't talking.
I was gonna say I wonder why. I was like, I guess they're just ignoring me. Oh, okay.
No.
It's disconnected.
I was just saying like the weird thing with the War of the Worlds adaptations is like they add all these characters in human drama that feels really unnecessary, because it's like zombie movies, right? In that the drama should actually come from the fact that these are characters in this extreme situation. Almost every zombie movie relies on the fact that people just are completely willing to just fuck themselves over because they really want to have this argument about who slept with who or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, think how many zombie stories.
I mean, that's pretty much just The Walking Dead.
Yeah, but that's my point. Is that the drama should come from the fact that these are people that you are people in a situation that is so like far beyond what it should be, you should be used to. The drama is that how do you survive in a world that's populated by giant alien fighting machines, or an army of the undead that's ever increasing. Not like, oh no, this guy said something to me that pissed me off 3 weeks ago. So
You slept with my wife.
I'm using this this is the moment I decide to pick a fight with you, and it ultimately gets them all fucked over. And it feels disingenuous because it adds this level to the story that it doesn't need to be. Because, like I said, the drama is the fact that there are these more or less invincible alien invasive force, not if these two people can get married or have a kid or whatever. And as I said, the baffling thing is that the narrator himself in the original book is sort of not a character, because he doesn't have a name, and because it's all first person, so he never refers to himself by name, and his entire goal is in the book is sort of find girlfriend for the first half, just survive, because the whole idea is that he's just a camera for the audience to see all of these other characters who have who are witness to the destruction of society, all of that malarkey.
Right.
One of the most powerful moments in the book is that he meets a priest and his wife, and the priest has basically gone mad because, as far as he's concerned, the forces of hell and Satan have come to slay the wicked, or slay the innocent and the wicked, and this Martians. Fucking Martian,
Right.
man. So yeah, it feels odd to omit powerful elements like that in favor of sort of half-hearted human drama.
Sneak in some spider work.
Or then you have the Spielberg version.
Well, that's the same problem that I have with this, and that it adds in all this extra level of human drama that's sort of irrelevant, because it's you got Tom Cruise and and he's a deadbeat dad, and there's a whole bunch of other coincidences and shit I hate in it, just check the solenoid to fix the car, and hey, an airplane crashes on top of the house that Tom Cruise and his kids are staying in, but the car parked outside the house is absolutely fine.
We really need to get better about
Just some other
Of course it
things.
is.
I mean, I hate that movie. As I said before, if you're ever going to do anything with War of the Worlds, just listen to the musical, really. Read the book. The 50s movie, at least is probably my favorite adaptation that's not musical.
What about the Orson Welles version?
I never actually heard the radio play, honestly. I've never been able to I never sat down to listen to it. I mean, I imagine it's probably decent. It scared people enough.
It's decent, and it scared people back in the 30s who didn't know what was going on. But yeah,
It's only it's more or less I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it, adaptation of the.
it only scared people who listened to it for 10 minutes because every commercial break they're like, "This is the Mercury Theater with Orson Welles," so oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess they just listen to the radio says there's aliens. We better go. Better go shoot that water tower.
I guess because the water tower has 3 legs like a tripod. Oh, that's also the other thing. In the BBC version, you see the aliens, and they're basically organic versions of tripods. So they have no limbs, just 3 legs.
Just a side project.
Which is it then just makes me sit and wonder, how did they build these things if they have no hands or fingers or tentacles or anything like that? It's something you can hold a wrench with,
It's you.
They don't seem to have psychic power, and if they did, why would they need fighting? See, it's the problem when you start just making things weird. You got to keep it at least somewhat concise. Because then it's well, why would you build robot mechs outside of just being really fucking cool? Because they are mechs.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
remember that time Superman fought the Martians?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's okay. It's also a Martian's also one of his best friends.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there was actually
Hashtag not all Martians.
not all only white Martians.
Yeah, fuck them. Except Miss Marvel, I guess she's okay.
Well-
Not all white Martian.
Yeah, but should
She what? It cut out. Sorry.
is she really a white Martian? She's like an
She is a
honorary
white
green
Martian, but she pretends not to be a white Martian, and when you can
She puts on green
rearrange your
face.
molecules, I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, yeah, she puts on green face.
Hope this isn't how Doc
Does that
feels.
make her a race traitor then?
You know?
Kinda. I mean,
Peter,
her race aren't exactly like good people.
is that the right term?
Man,
But,
now I'm just imagining like the Green Martians, but it's like, you know, Malcolm
No matter
X.
how hard you work, you still find time to help others.
But
I hope you don't mind.
Well, this just
so
got
I want
weird.
to say I will so without any, so it doesn't end on weird because I'm you know doing the Octavia stuff right now. You know where he sees the suit and all that.
Who does so much for this city.
Man, the knife's gonna turn in this story later, but
I don't know what you're talking about. I guess this is one of the issues that the game has because a lot of the sort of promotion for the game was to push for like Mr. Negative, and sort of before you even really get into like Martin Lee and Mr. Negative and all of that stuff, you already introduced Dr. Otto Octavius, and well, I mean,
if you know even a little bit about SpiderMan, you know exactly who that is.
and when
I mean,
it's like,
maybe
oh,
they're saving it for the sequel.
well, then, and then he's also working on prosthetics. So
Yeah, literally, like one of the first things you see him is he's hooked up on a thing that looks suspiciously like the Ock arms.
like it's one of those things, and it's very clearly their relationship is meant to be like a more in-depth version of the relationship between Spider-Man and Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. and-
Spider-Man 2.
yeah. Which
It's
is,
a really good dichotomy in that movie. Like, it's a good rework of the character. I like it.
no, yeah, it's good in the set because it's like the whole point is it inspires Pete because it's, hey, look, it's someone who can both save the world and have a love life and keep their shit together until they can't. But you know, that's besides the point. So it's like the whole, hey, look, here's someone that you can aspire to be, which comic books and also this also sort of retroactively sort of folded into themselves in that. Oh yes, Pete was always a massive Octavius.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's what happened with Mr. Freeze, too.
Yeah. Where like the cartoon basically reinvented Freeze and now turned him from a nobody Z-lister to one of Spider-Man's most iconic and tragic villain. Batman's most iconic and tragic villains.
Yes,
Yeah.
Batman and Robin almost ruined that
Yeah, well, Batman and Robin almost ruined a lot of things.
by making him Arnold, who just makes nothing but ice puns.
I
Batman! Freeze in hell!
mean, at least he got more respect than Bane did in that movie.
It's true. I mean,
In
yes,
fact, he
worse.
got more respect in that movie than Bane's ever got in a movie.
Oh, yeah, I will actually I will have to pick up some backpacks in order to buy shit.
Yeah.
So I won't get every backpack, but I'll definitely be picking them up if they're nearby. Like, I'm actually going to grab this one real quick before we end. But, you know, the sad thing is, though, that Bane is still closer to being Bane than the one in the Nolan film.
Is it really? I was gonna
Yeah!
say. I mean, he might have looked better, but I mean, I think Nolan's film treated him with a little more dignity than
Well, it does right up
Poison
until
Ivy's angry, growling henchmen.
it gets to the point where they do the surprise reveal that Bane actually was just a chump all along. That he was just there for Noctalia to, you know, pull her Grandmaster plan of like that really relied on Bruce Wayne just sort of implicitly trusting her for no real reason because
Thank God he did.
because she had sex with him basically, or he wanted to have sex. No, but like he just sort of, you know, yeah, here's this like super wipe out entire cities, and I don't trust anyone with it. I don't trust anyone with it so much I became a hermit for like a decade, and I've like screwed over my own company so much to stop this from happening.
Remember my warning about the downright Orwellian crime
So
monitoring system the city was
it's that kind of thing where on the surface level of, yeah, it is like a better rendition or closer to the comic book version of Bane, but then he gets massively undercut and it really hurts him there.
because those incompetent
Plus also like the whole thing of we can't have him do Venom because like the Venom stuff, that's just silly. So instead he just has constant infusion of painkillers because he's in so much pain.
Yeah, because that's how it. Because you know that's how adrenaline works, right?
Yeah. So it's that thing where, on the one hand, yeah, better. On the other hand, no, not really better. So, And that's a shame, because Bane's probably one of Batman's cooler villains.
Yeah, he's interesting in the fact that he is hard to deal with, both physically and mentally.
Remember that time when Superman had to dress up as Batman?
Oh god, yeah, in the cartoon it was
Yeah,
so good.
and Mad Hatter, Riddler, and Bane all like triple team him. And he just fucking wrecks them all.
And he's just like, what the heck? And it was like, what the hell? Oh, he's been working out. That was literally the excuse Robin gave. It was like, oh no, he's just been working out.
I love how that entire episode, every single character, like, is just it just has so many oh fuck moments. For like, when they for Super. My favorite is when Brainiac like blasts Batman in quotations. And it just
Oh yeah,
because
and then
Superman is
Superman
just,
comes out and he's like, wait a minute, you're Batman is Superman. This is interesting.
and he's just like, Kal-El, uh-oh. I didn't calculate for this. And then Superman basically kills him.
Again.
All right, guys. You actually, Sabo, you go because you haven't even talked much. You go first, and then we'll end.
Yeah.
Go
Say
with
it.
what?
Just make a point. Say something funny.
You're gonna make a point.
Say something funny and outrageous. What's your favorite fictional state in? What's your favorite fictional Arab state? Go.
Oh, Carbamia, obviously. I mean, I don't know any other fictional Arab states besides that one.
There we go. Always got to get
There
it.
we go. We made our quota, and
There's
also,
our quota.
Don't forget that zone defense.
Don't get his own defense, man. It's a good thing.
That's the new one. That's the new one.
It's a good thing you're here, man. Oh, you're a Mirakuru worker.
Have we missed any? Have we missed any? Or is
I
that all of them?
think that's all of them.
Because you guys have all the thing to bring up. I don't think I have one.
You'll
Do I?
get one eventually.
You'll think of one eventually.
Fuck. All right, guys. You have a good day. Oop. Wrong button. I'm leaving that in the recording because it's funnier this way.
Oh, you do have a thing. Your thing is Uncle Tony and complaining about Uncle Ben.
Ah, yes.
You're right. Uncle Tony.
I mean, Train does that to an extent too, but not to the point that you do. Every time like MCU is brought up, you're like, God damn it, no Uncle Ben.
It's true. I did even bring it up a bit at the start of this too because I saw the Uncle Ben picture and I was like, see, was that so hard? MCU.
I decided that rather than be negative on MCU, I was just gonna pretend it doesn't exist. I mean, and then unfortunately, I remembered. Oh right, and then they did ruin Taskmaster recently. I guess I should give my 2 cents on that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna turn off the recording now. Bye.
Oh, I thought we'd done.